Welcome to the Kickstart My Franchise podcast. I'm your host, Tim Michaels. Today I am joined by Natalie Fairchild, founder of an emerging brand called Pacific Perks. Thanks for joining us, Natalie.
Thank you, Tim. I'm so glad that we could do this.
Absolutely. So, what exactly is Pacific Perks?
It's very different. It's very unique. A lot of people still don't know a service like this exists. So, one of our main services is espresso bar catering. And I put that catering at the end because we're not a kiosk, we're not a mobile truck or like a food truck type of setup. We literally roll into events and we set up for 2 hours or longer and we charge a flat fee and we're all about creating experiences. So we have 10 made to order services, not to overwhelm you. And everything's made to order and everything's sent out with joy and creating a fun experience and making it super easy for our clients to take care of the people most important to their business.
That's fantastic. So, my next question was actually going to be, what are those 10 services?
All
So, I don't
right,
know if
here
you
we go.
don't have to say all 10, but give us the highlights at least.
So we have two different areas. We have the beverage and treats options, which the espresso bar goes under, and we do ice cream sundaes. So a lot of diversity. So wherever in the summer we end up scooping a ton of ice cream. In fact, I worked an ice cream cart yesterday, and because we were so busy, so I pulled in, and that's for the time that we're there. It's based on time. And then we have 5 food services. So we have crepes, waffles, grilled cheese experience bar, quesadilla, omelet bar, and those are by person or by plate.
Wow.
So yeah.
Do you have any instances where you have sort of multiple of those offerings at the same event? And do you need like a
100%.
separate cart that you bring, or how does that work?
Yeah, great question. There's one person per cart. The
Okay.
cart's very small, self-contained. It's the same cart used for every event. So we swap different services on that cart. We do have a lot of events. We just worked with Legacy Hospital where we had 5 espresso bars in a row. And so depending on the number of people and the time that they want them served. And then a lot of times we'll do like an omelet bar or a crepe bar paired with the espresso bar. So
All
yeah,
right.
so you can definitely mix and mingle and that happens a lot of the time. And yeah, it's one person per cart.
Got it. And
Yeah.
give us a sense for like how big these, I think we're calling them mobile units. Is that the
Yeah.
phrase we're going with?
Yeah.
How big are they?
They're about 4 feet wide and about 20 inches deep. So they can go through any doorway and fit into any space. We always say like we would need about a 5 by 5 space to set up. So yeah, we just
Got
roll
it.
right in.
Got it. And so do franchisees keep this on like a truck, or do they rent a truck? What does it typically look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, our employees actually have to have like a small SUV, even a Prius hatchback,
Mm,
type of Subaru hatchback, any type of hatchback, usually fits the equipment. And so they use their vehicle.
okay. Yeah, it's great if it can fit in a hatchback. I didn't know if you had to get like a full van or something like that. So that's great.
No, yeah, it is. It's pretty crazy to see everything go into a hatchback Prius.
So who would you say is sort of an ideal franchisee? Any particular like background or skill set that you're looking for?
Yeah, when you look at the typical, the perfect type of franchisee, one, it is if someone is interested in coffee and how fun it is and kind of the whole experience, I think that we love the smell, the taste, the warm, cozy feelings we get. Someone that has always maybe wanted to own a coffee shop, but they don't want the high-end retail,
Hmm.
this would be a really good fit. Someone that's been in hospitality before, maybe they're used to putting on events or worked in restaurants or things like that. That might be a really great fit. Um, and then another really important part for me is that they really need to be somebody that values people and connections,
Hmm.
because what Pacific Perks family has created is really like a sense of community and belonging. And we make it so easy for our clients to work with us, and they get that white glove customer service. And we want that same thing in our franchisees for sure.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we treat our employees really, really well. In fact, one unique thing about us, Tim, is that our perkologists, those are the people that do the events, it's trademarked.
Nice.
The definition is one who creates an experience in a cup or otherwise.
Mm.
So they are W-2 employees. However, they enter their schedule into our own proprietary software that schedules events out and gathers event details and all kinds of other things. And then we schedule out events to them based on their seniority and their availability.
Mm.
So they have the ability to live their lives and be there for their families, be there for their spouses, whoever, themselves, and block themselves out or make themselves available. So that's one really, really unique thing about us, and has created this loyalty of people that absolutely love their job, love that they can have a life too, and make some great money. And when they're out there doing events, they're bringing joy to people and they're kind of the hero. So it's a win win win.
Absolutely. In terms of compensation for those people, I know you said they're
Yeah.
W-2 employees. How does that typically work? Are they making anything off of tips?
Yes. And so we make it very easy. There's never a cash exchange at our carts or bars. So they get in the state of Washington, minimum wage is over $16. So before it was over six, before it was up to that, we would always encourage everyone to pay higher than the minimum wage. But currently it's gone up so much that we pay the minimum wage. And then there's a standard gratuity that goes on every event.
Mhm.
And that goes straight to the pergologist.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if I, decide to become a franchisee, I love your concept. What does a day in the life look like for me? And does it vary between like owner operator or semi absentee if that's an option?
Yeah, it can be semi absentee, but you do need to have somebody running it. You do need to have somebody connecting with those clients because they're coming in through the internet, through phone, through email, or our web page, that kind of thing. So you need to have somebody there that who is present. And so, it's getting those events in the schedule using our proprietary software. It's prepping the carts so that they're ready to go for the next day. It's scheduling out things like that. Some of your supplies will be delivered. You may have to go grab some supplies. And yeah, that's pretty much a day in the life. And then networking and marketing with people. You always have to keep your foot on the pedal with that.
Absolutely. Marketing always part of every business, it seems.
Every business.
Um, so like how many hours, should somebody expect to put in this business? And it sounds pretty flexible, so maybe you can just speak to that a bit more.
Yeah, so it is flexible, though when you start a business, as you need to really put more energy into it. And as you grow the business and have an incredible team, then, your flexibility becomes more and more and more. But, I would say you need to put like 30 to 40 hours in a week of work. And um, when I started, I was the first out on events. So I would go do them. And then we quickly added to our team. And as a good business owner, I think it's really important to give those events to your perkologists and work on your business instead of in your business. We hear
Mhm.
that a lot. And that was great advice that I got. And so that one, you can always slip in if something happens, because, sometimes things do happen and a business owner has to slip in. And then you can keep, doing the business and marketing and that kind of thing.
Fantastic. Can you talk a little bit about the competitive landscape? Like, who do you see in the space? What does that typically look like? Is it fragmented?
Yeah. So there are people in the space. So we've been in business for over 17 years. And we were just talking about this the other day that we have seen businesses like ours come and go. There's very few that have stuck around, but they are there. I think there's a lot of one-offs where people will have maybe one cart, or two
Mm,
carts maximum, and just operate their business, and that works for them, to stay small, that kind of thing. And where we have 15 plus carts right now currently in headquarters, where we're they're out and about all the time. So there is some people out there for sure. To answer your question, no one does it like we do with the 10 different services. So you've got the diversity, and we've got the proprietary software, which really, really helps. And I see a lot of them go in and out and in and out,
mm,
as that happens with businesses. People try,
mhm.
and 80% of them, I think, fail within the first 2 years, which is staggering. But yeah, so it's still unique. We still have the challenge of letting people know what we do, because people automatically think like the mobile food truck, or oh, you're a coffee truck, you pull up type of thing. And we're a little bit more unique, a little bit more nimble. We can be in more places at one time than not.
Makes a lot of sense. Very cool. What is the total investment required?
Yeah. So, with the franchise fee included, it's 71,000, a little over 71,000 to a little over 113,000. And that range, as you know, is like, if you're going to be leasing, or renting a light industrial, small 1,000 square feet space in, Nebraska versus LA, the cost is going to be different.
Right.
And that does include, like I said, the franchise fee includes up to 5 grand for a grand opening. You may not need that much. It
Mhm.
includes cash on hand, all the 5 carts with all the 10 services, all the equipment to get you going.
That's fantastic. Are people able to use any sort of loans for this business, or does it need to be cash?
No, absolutely. Yeah, we've got some relationships with a couple people that we really, really like to work with, and absolutely, that is an option.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I meet a lot of people very interested in the coffee space, but a lot of times the concepts are just too expensive. So it's great to see,
Yeah.
a more affordable option here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And like I said, being in business for 17 years, we're constantly learning, and we have a solid business system that we have continued to perfect. And we're a great company that exudes culture and loving on our people and our clients, and, just bringing joy. So that's the fun part about our business. It's really fun.
How are the profit margins? I know you have to be delicate as a franchisor as far as like
Yeah.
what you say, but can you talk at a high level about like what people should expect to see in your item 19, or just the margins in the industry in general?
Yeah, there is to kind of give you a example of something. I'm going to pull something up that um here we go. Okay, perfect. So just to give you an idea, like if someone were to do 20 events a month, they're pulling in a revenue of 120K. Now, 20 events a month is not very much. We do an average of about 150. So, if
A
they're
month?
doing, a 40 events a month, let's say,
Wow.
they're pulling in 240 a year based
Wow.
on, the price of the cart. So, that's kind of where the margins are over 27% when they're managed properly, for sure.
Wow. So your corporate location is doing 150 locations, or events per month?
Yeah, on average.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
December we'll do close to um 270. Um yeah, so you have your slower months, and then your seasonal months too. And they go throughout the year. So yeah, so on average we say we do about 150 events a month.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, so what would you say, we've probably already covered some of these points, but if someone asked you, what are the top two or three reasons why I should become a franchisee of Pacific Perks, what would you say?
Yeah. I would say that it is a fun business. It's a simple business. So, simplicity is one of our core values. I need to keep life simple. I don't know about you, Tim, but I have to keep it simple. So, everything we do, we question, okay, are we making this more difficult than it is? Or is this fit into simplicity, something that everyone can do, take on, that kind of thing? I just got off a call um, with my exec team, and we had that conversation as we were looking at changing something. I'm like, are we making this more difficult or not? So, the fun of the business, the simplicity of the business, the proven business systems that we have in place. As if you're buying a franchise, you're buying a shortcut. Someone that's done all the pain. We've
Hmm.
gone through lots of that and continue to perfect. And then just who we are and the culture and the balance of life. One thing I didn't mention before is this business was created because we needed to change something in our life. We needed to own our own schedule, and because of a medical issue. And so that's how Pacific Perks was born. And so also, I'd love to work with somebody that needs that, whether it's a couple, a family, a spouse, a vet, anything like that, that needs that balance of life, and be a mentor to them to have success and balance come together.
I can feel your passion, so that's great to see. Um, I got through most of my questions. Is there anything I didn't hit on that, you really want to make sure people are aware of?
Yeah, I think I just hit on it just now. It's that I'm really passionate about living a life where you can have success and really have that flexibility and owning that. I love to empower women and intentional men. And so I'm looking for people who also value those things, value people, value success, and also value themselves and their time.
That was interesting. So what do you mean by intentional men?
I'm
I don't know
so
if I've
glad you asked. So, yeah, I'm looking for people that are introspective and that care about things other than, you know, that next thing. I mean, we all do that, especially as a high achiever, we all do that. But really people that see the whole picture. They're not
Mhm.
just looking at the bottom line, which is very important, right? We're all
Sure.
in this to make money, to, create a legacy, to have the things we want in life and have that security. But that it's not just that they concentrate on.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, this was great. Really appreciate you hopping on. It was very
Yeah.
informative, and hopefully we can do some deals here in the future.
Sounds great, Tim. Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.